far as the install of your scheme?
It's been awesome so far. The guys are anxious. They're receptive. We're 3 practices in, and I think the guys are really adjusting well to what we want to do. So they're aggressive. They're attacking. And the first day of pads was kind of fun. It was good. There was a little pushing back and forth, which was always good. And I think we got a lot of time to get better, obviously. And it's just been fun to watch these guys just soak us all up like sponges.
From a schematic standpoint, when you're having to make some adjustments, how much better is it now to know this is your roster? There's not going to be a whole other changeover at the end of the spring.
Yeah, that part's great. You're not having to worry about in May is who do we gotta worry about leaving or anything like that. So I do appreciate hey, this is what we got. Now we can really hone in on the details of what we want to get done with it. It makes life a lot easier.
You feel like you can come out of the spring with more momentum than if you had to?
Absolutely. I think we can catapult from the spring into the summer. And the guys can go out there by the time we get done with spring, if we've done our jobs, the guys can go out there and do stuff on their own without us being there. So and there's only a couple additions coming in from the high school ranks, so the guys are going to be ready to go come summertime, and then that should bleed right into the fall.
Just to have this secondary, a lot of depth, it seems like, a lot of numbers. Mm-hmm. How much does that help? And I know you weren't here last year, but you can be ahead of the curve when you got guys that have played a lot of college football and been in that secondary.
Absolutely. No, I think Coach Clark and the defensive, the DB coaches have done an unbelievable job of gathering a group of guys that are we have length, we have all these things physically, but then they're good football players as well. And the competition is just going to drive everybody to be better, right? And we know in this game there's going to be an injury here or there, and we need the next guy to be ready to roll. And nobody cares about who it is. We just got to make sure they're good. And it's exciting to see that. I think just all in all, just looking at from the front to the back, we feel like we've got good pieces. And now we just got to get them lined up, and we got to get them play extremely hard.
Is Charles Correa your leader on defense?
I think Charles is a great leader. I think he's got obviously a great experience coming back, and I think he has really taken to be that leader. I think guys look at him, and the thing that makes Charles really great is he's like a gentle giant. He speaks when he needs to speak, but he does everything right, so everybody listens to him when he does speak, and it's fun to be around him. He's energetic, right, when he needs to be, but he's also detailed in what he wants to do, and I think everybody sees that, and then they try to be like that. So he's a great kid. I've really enjoyed my time with him thus far.
I think people already know he's a talented linebacker. Are you evaluating other things to decide whether or not he should be the Mike and the guy who wears the green dot?
Yeah, I think we brought in some other guys along with him in the portal. I think Charles has obviously got a great grasp of playing the game, right? And we're experimenting with him in the green dot. We got like 4 different guys. We'll rotate through it, see who can handle the green dot. Sometimes it can be analysis through paralysis, or paralysis through analysis if you're talking too much to these guys. So just kind of seeing what they like, what they don't like as we roll forward with it. But I think JoJo Hayden, Anthony Specca, Winston Berglund's had a great first 3 days. Like, there's a lot of guys. Trey Moore is a guy that came from San Diego. That's an intrigue. He's put on 20-some pounds since he's been here. But it's exciting to see these guys kind of come out here and compete and learn. And it's got the buildings of a great room right now.
Had you already taken note of JoJo from just around the Big Ten before he got in the portal this year?
Yeah, so I've known JoJo. I was at Illinois when we were recruiting JoJo, and I was able to watch what he did this past year and really the past couple of years, and the talent's there, and he's had to give the opportunity. So now he's got the opportunity, and we'll see what he does with it.
Was it kind of seamless coming back here with some of the guys, familiar faces, Smiley and Trey Smith and Winston, guys like that?
Yeah, guys like, I've recruited Trey to Illinois, and then he ended up here, so I've known Trey forever and his family. Smiley, it was great to see him. There was a little battle there for a minute, but we got him right, and so it's good to see those guys. But there's a lot of new people here. A lot of things change in a short time, with the current model of college football. So, which is fun too, because now we're bringing guys into because everything that we've done here before is different now in my past, right? So that's day one for these guys too, in terms of what this defense is going to be, and now they're excited about how we're going about it and mixing in the different types of looks that we're giving with them and letting them play, and it's going to be a fun defense.
Did you keep all your Purdue gear before you left?
No, I did not. I kept some. The ones I liked, I kept. So, but no, it's this is an oldie goldie, and I'll keep this one for a long time. But we'll be okay.
Barry had credited you, said that they were, I think Smiley, maybe some other guys, the reasons that they came back, ones that had kind of looked at the portal, was because of you. Mm-hmm. What were you communicating with them? Like, what was your appeal to them to try to get them to stay?
Well, they know who I am. I think like we talked before, it's a surreal experience here, right? It's God's plan that I'm here, but I did something right in the past to be back. And I think if you build great relationships with your players, they want to play for you and for this university, and it's a great education, obviously, but I do think that how you treat people matters, and you treat people the right way, and you do things the right way, and allow them to line up and have success. They're going to respect that, and they want to play for you. So every day you got to keep building these relationships, especially in the current football world, and the more they love you, the harder it is for them to say, hey, I'm out, I love all my guys that we're coaching, and the expectation is high, but we love them up that much higher, so it's fun to coach these guys. It's been a great 2 months thus far, and I've really enjoyed working with the guys. Again, I don't know a whole lot of guys on the staff other than Barry and a couple others, but I've really gelled with the guys in the room, and we're attacking this thing together, and we're making sure that these guys play extremely hard and give the fans of Purdue what they deserve.
What do you like about this challenge? Every time you call a defense, it's a challenge, but I mean, you said you have to answer your critics, and people remember what happened the last time you were here, but you get a chance, a second chance to make a first impression.
That's right. That's right, and that's all I can ask for, and all I can say is come out and watch and see what we're going to do, and it's going to be, there's a lot of stuff that I liked what we did with before, but there's a lot of stuff that I go back to my past that I really liked, so it's going to be a fun experience for our guys, and I think the margins in this conference are so small between winning and losing, and it's not much different. I look at what I just left at Minnesota, and when I came here, the talent's not different. So we've got to be able to go on the field and play harder and be situationally sound, all right, better than anybody else that we can, and then we're going to have a chance to win those one-possession games, and that's what we're emphasizing right now. So all from January, February, March, it's like these little details of situational football. I love how we practice situations every day here, and to get these guys to be a smarter football team. So now, like I said, it's just getting them to believe in what we're doing, and I think we're on the right step right now. Guys are anxious, they're hungry, and they're playing hard. You guys right here at practice today, I feel like there's a different mentality here in terms of my first tenure to now in terms of what the expectations are. So it's been fun.
With Smiley, just how much has he grown in your eyes from the time you guys left off last time to now? Yeah,
he was a freshman, now he's a junior. So I think his maturity, his confidence. I do think he's gotten athletically better. He's gotten faster, I believe, just watching him do things. But he's always been a savvy player. That was kind of, when he was a freshman, that was his niche. He knows football better than a lot of guys just because he's an instinctive football player. And now he's added strength, confidence, and speed. And now it's turned into, all right, we'll see what we can do come Saturdays. And, I think the guys that we've brought in as well are pushing people, to make them better, But no, it's been fun to see him. And Trey Smith, same way. Like two guys that I know really well. Trey is ultra confident right now, and it wasn't that case, I could say, as confident as it was last time I was here. So to see these guys right now in just a year, the strides that they've taken from a maturity standpoint and this confidence is outstanding.
The situational stuff you're talking about, Charles was just telling us about football 101. Was that something along those lines that you implemented this year?
Yes, sir.
What can you tell us a little bit?
Yeah, that's just, every meeting that we've had with our guys throughout the course of the winter, there's some type of educational aspect to it, right? It's got academics, we got to make sure we're good on that, but it's also educating our guys in certain things, like what is first down? It's the most played down in football, all right? And there's different types of first downs, all those fun things. And then it's second down, all right? It's the most forgotten down. So then we're talking about these things, like what is that? Everybody's going to have a tell in terms of what they like to do on second down, right? Second and 10, what do they like to do? So understanding that type of mentality. Then third down, then we get in the red area, right? We talked about the hash marks, right? The field, right? What are the ticks? What are the divide? What are we like? So everybody who does it, you don't know what you don't know until you ask somebody, right? So I asked a freshman, what are eligible numbers? Who can catch a football? And they didn't know the other day. So don't assume anything. So we start back from the basics and go back from square one, and we'll do it every year. Because again, don't assume that these guys know anything, and it's great for the coaches. It's great teaching, and then by the time hopefully they get out here, they're a lot more smarter football team.
We're good.